everybody. Welcome back.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to Molly. Oh, my God.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Welcome back. We got a fun one for you.
It sounds like you were doing Britney Spears. Oh, baby.
Well,
baby.
yeah, you know, that's like literally my Britney. And then
Oh my God. And we lost listeners.
And we are canceled. Okay.
If the Nickelback of last week didn't get you going.
I don't give a fuck. I stand by that.
My house, my rules.
Exactly. So,
okay.
Yeah, we have a
Speaking
fun one.
Yeah, we do. This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of fun rules.
Yeah, we are. We're going to be doing something. We actually did think about this a while ago. I don't know if I got this idea from our old, we had a page worth of all these things we wanted to talk about. And this was one of them. It's we're doing the best and the worst of genres of our choosing. So I will be discussing the best and worst of a particular thing. Could be the best romance novels. It could be the best soap operas. It's not it, but we'll tell you. Oh, sneaky.
And I didn't even we did it slightly different, but it is our best and worst or most overrated. I did
overrated. Yeah, that works too. And we'll tell you why. Why we think that is so, because we are geniuses.
And I feel like I'm going to learn from you because I see things on your list that I'm like, okay, well, will you just start? Okay. We'll go.
Well, I know you're going to love this one. So my first genre is horror movies.
Yes.
I love horror movies so much.
I love them.
So I'll start off with my worst. And this is the thing. This was so hard to do because even when, and you can agree because you love horror movies too, even when they're bad, they're sometimes good.
Yes. It's very strange because there's a line, and once you cross the line of how bad it is, it then cycles back to being good.
It's weird.
It's if you go so far bad, you're then good again.
Yeah. It's even
it's very
when it's
weird.
Cheesy. There were some that I was thinking, I was like, what about, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the second one. I was like, no, but that's Brandy's in that one. And there's so many things that I'm it wasn't the best, but it's still just maybe nostalgic, if anything. Anywho. So my number 5, I'm going to go a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the worst, and 5 being the least worst of this 5, I guess. Antichrist. Have you ever heard this movie?
I didn't see it.
I wonder, I didn't ask my husband Ryan if he saw this. I started watching this and I could not. Did you ever watch this? Antichrist? Yes. William Dafoe. It's Lars von Trier, who's a very controversial Danish director. He's fucking out of his mind. He's also said some anti-Semitic things before, so he's been pseudo-canceled and makes really ridiculous shit. People love his movies, but this one was wild. It's about a couple who are having sex, and while they're having sex, their baby falls out the window because they weren't paying attention. So she goes fucking crazy, and her husband, who's a psychiatrist, tries to help her because nothing was helping her. She just goes crazy.
Oh, God.
So the movie's basically this descent into madness for her, where it's graphic, where she mutilates herself in ways, mutilates him.
God.
I just hate the I hate seeing women she turns around on him, which is fun, but I don't want to give too much away. But I just hate seeing women so tortured in that way, and I think this is kind of a torture porn thing, and that's going to be a theme for my other ones too. I just fucking hate torture porn. I think it's so stupid, especially when it's done to women. It's a thing. Did you know that Alfred Hitchcock had said that the only vice I ever take is to torture women. We don't torture enough women in movies.
Oh, God, of course. I'm not even surprised.
Anywho, so my number 4 is Last House on the Left. Have you ever seen that? There's a original and a remake, 70s and 2000s was the remake. Both I have issues with. Both were, oh my God, the original is Wes Craven, I think, was the original director of the original one. Anyway, gratuitous rape. I'm not into it. Sorry.
Yep. Doesn't need to happen.
It's really graphic. There is fun elements. The good guys win at the end, but I'm sorry. The gratuitous rape scenes, we don't fucking need it.
Yeah.
Number 3 is The Omen. Not fun, not scary. And it's weird. It's just the child is a little scary just because it just makes me not want to have kids, but that's the extent of it. It just wasn't good. So it's right somewhere in the middle because it's just boring. Number 2, The Happening. Molly, have you ever seen that happening?
I was trying to remember. I don't know. I am the worst with films. Everybody, you know this. Everybody who knows me knows this. I will have seen stuff and I like instantly black out and forget them. I don't know what's wrong with me.
This was like 2008. I remember because I saw it like my senior year after like superlative luncheon or something. It was like the worst M. Night Shyamalan movie ever made. It's about like something's in the air. It's kind of like Bird Box, but like even worse, even though people didn't even like Bird Box either. But it's basically something's in the air, if I remember correctly, that makes everyone want to kill themselves.
Oh God.
So it's like,
you know what? I think I did see this.
Yeah, it's like super heavy and obviously graphic.
This starts with they're driving around the city and start seeing all these people like.
Yes.
Yeah, I have seen that.
And you know who it stars?
This is weird. It started out like it could go good because I really.
Yeah. And I was going to say, it was like this started out. I mean, sorry. This stars fucking Mark Wahlberg and Zooey Deschanel, which is like, those are the worst leads that you could put on a movie where everyone kills themselves and they're just like looking around shocked at like the life around them.
I'm not a Zooey Deschanel fan. Well, also like that movie started out because I'm a huge fan of psychological thrillers.
Right.
And it started out like it might go that direction. It was trying to, and then it just like fell flat.
And then it just took a fucking nosedive.
Yeah.
Into a fucking lawnmower. I remember that scene. It's just so heavy. And then you have Mark Wahlberg, who, God bless him, he's gorgeous and long live his career, but he can't act. And Zooey Deschanel, who I like her, a new girl, but she's just she's a little mouse.
Yeah.
Anywho, number one, let's say it together, Molly, because this is what we, 1, 2, 3. The hills have eyes. Oh,
motherfucking worst movie.
I knew you would. I mean, obviously, like
I agree with you.
This is
100%.
Like, this was like one of the things that me and Molly were like, we are the same.
This was a really random thing we discovered about one another. That the only movie in a theater that Alyssa and I have ever walked out of was The Hills Have Eyes. And obviously we were like in high school, we didn't know each other, but that's the only one we both walked out of. I remember, and I don't mind gore, like, but I don't mind it's just the entire storyline. And like, it wasn't even that far into it. I was in there with my friend and we were like, you know what? No, like I don't need to see this. And it was so, oh God.
So bad.
No
gratuitous rape, gratuitous everything. It's fucking disturbing. It wasn't even scary. It was just disturbing.
It wasn't scary.
It's a bad time.
It was just disgusting and disturbing.
So that's me. Oh, should I go to best? Okay, I'll go fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so my 5 best, and I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1 being the best. 5, The Ring. Nostalgic as fuck. I watched that movie. I remember watching it and then getting the DVD, watching it all the time as a kid. I was just so obsessed with it. I thought it was so well done. Naomi Watts is such a fucking talented actor. And I thought it was really original. And it might have been most of horror movies in America are Japanese remakes, or Korean. But The Ring, I had to put it on there. Number 4, Us.
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o. Mwah. Just that movie is perfection. Perfection. Go watch it. Get Out. Have to put Get Out on here.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's a cultural reset in horror movies, 100%. Like what Jordan Peele does in that and Us is just, is just phenomenal. And the ending is just so satisfying. It's perfect. Number 2, Midsommar.
I never saw that.
Oh God, I can't wait for you to watch it because
I know I need to.
So basically it's about, and I won't give away the ending, but it's about a girl who goes on a trip with her fucking asshole boyfriend and his friends to a mutual friend's like family in Sweden, and they're it's like a commune, but it's really a cult. And really fucked up shit happens, and it's very cerebral, and you're on her journey, so everything's really from her perspective, and just shit goes down. But what's beautiful about it is it's like all in the daytime because it's for the most part because the sun hardly sets
Right.
in that part of Sweden. And what's beautiful is that like as like Danny's journey in there, like you don't realize you yourself as the audience is also being brainwashed at the same time. It's really fucking creative and beautiful. So got to do that. Number 1, Hereditary.
100% agree with you. That is the most terrifying, disturbing movie I have ever seen in my life. That is the one time that I can recall, the only time I can recall that I have been brought to actual tears during a movie of just fear, just fear tears. I didn't know that was like a thing. And I literally was watching, I know the scene in the kitchen when the mom at night in the middle of the night.
Forget it.
I literally I had tears in my eyes because I was so scared.
I'm
I had
getting
to,
chills
oh my
thinking
God.
about it. Yeah, this is one of the movies like me and Ryan love horror movies. We could watch them all day long, but this is the one where like, we had to like sleep with the lights on for a little bit.
Yep. I watched this in bed at night at my place. I don't know why I did that. I wasn't like in a public place. I had to turn the lights on. I was, like I said, I was in tears of fear. That was the most, but disturbing is the best word for it. Disturbing is the peak word for that movie. It is incredible.
It fucks you up. And shout out, and like the acting is so amazing. And shout out to Ari Aster. Ari Aster directed both Hereditary and Midsommar. He's fucking incredible, and I can't wait for his next film.
I love that.
Yeah.
Your number ones on those. I agree with all of it. Okay, so I said the worst 90s songs.
So good.
And these are not, I didn't order mine because as far as I'm concerned, they're all the worst.
Yeah.
So we have Barbie Girl by Aqua.
Yes.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Yes.
In a Barbie world. It was like,
it's fantastic.
What? I'm made of plastic. You can brush my hair, undress me anywhere. And then there's Ken that comes in. It's like, just the patriarchy at its peak.
Yeah, it was weird.
Mbop by Hanson. And I will say at the time, I was jamming with it in elementary school. One of my best friend at the time was obsessed, had their posters all over her room. And that was one of those songs where like I would sing with it when it came on, but in my heart of hearts, the little like 9-year-old me, I was into some bad songs for sure. But that one, I was just like, I was kind of faking my enthusiasm for it even at the time. Cause I was like, what is this about?
Yeah, really, what is it?
Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm sorry, but I don't really have a lot of words for these. I have more words for my other lists, so I'll go more in depth on those, but no, I do not.
Yeah.
You know what? I do really old school like Johnny Cash I can get into. Yeah, like because country music to me at its best is storytelling and the really old school stuff that like also leaned had a lot of crossover with blues, which I love.
Yes.
And so, but I that said, I never listened to it, but I really appreciate the artistry and the storytelling in old school country music. But it is definitely my least favorite genre. I never listened to it.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of country songs because of, or not, probably not current ones, but like growing up in Ellensburg, that's all everybody listened to. And for 7 years of living there, I listened to Fuzzy Radio Station because the hip hop station was the next town over. And I literally listened to Fuzzy Radio for like 7 years. I forgot what Clear Station sounded like. Okay, so other one, Mambo number 5. Now this one I was like, do I put it on? Don't I put it on?
That's hard.
But
it's because
it was like, it was a vibe and but yeah, I just really can't get over the like.
It started a fuckboy culture.
It started a fuckboy culture for sure. And then, but I remember being like in elementary school, my aunt came to visit and I remember she was like, she had her Walkman and she was like in her workout routine and she was saying that like that was her favorite song to listen to while she was working out. And it was so funny to me. I don't know why I remember that. She's like, yeah, I wonder if he has like other songs. I don't know. But that's also another thing. A lot of these are artists like Aqua, Hanson, Mambo number 5 is Lou Bega. It's like something that I think one of the things that makes them culturally accepted as the worst is that they didn't really have any other hits. So it's like, you don't even have good stuff to cover it up with.
Right.
Also my last one I put I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. It's hilarious, but like, did this really need to be out there and chart and make top? I'm too sexy for it's hilarious, but like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But okay.
That's a weird one.
Best 90s songs. Oh my God. These aren't in order either, but they can they're all on top.
I'm about to get, oh yeah.
I love it. Okay. So Doo-Wop, That Thing by Lauryn Hill. The lyrics in this, I mean, everything, the beat, the lyrics, it's like empowering to women.
You can't help but feel good.
Oh, I know. It is beautiful. Her vocals, literally
Anything
pure artistry on all the levels. No Ordinary Love by Sade. all of Sade as well. That's literally one of my favorite artists to listen to when I'm at the beach, when I'm driving, when I'm at home cleaning my house. It's Sade all
Smooth
day.
Operator. Oh my God.
Smooth Operator. Oh my God. By Your Side is one of my favorites, but that wasn't technically in the 90s, so I couldn't put it in.
Oh.
Desert Rose by Sting.
I don't know this song.
Oh my God, really?
No. Wait,
I bet
sing it.
You might if you. He's like Desert Rose, LA, LA.
Oh yeah, wait, that does sound. Yeah, wow, interesting.
I don't know all the words, but yeah, it's my parents. Credit to them because they listened to everything growing up, everything from like Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin to like Sting and Simon and Garfunkel and Bob Marley and literally everything. Sade. And that song, we listened to a lot of Sting and the Police, and he's incredible.
Yeah.
His writing, his lyrics are amazing. His melodies, Almost Doesn't Count by Brandy. That is
Why don't I
the
know
melody
that song?
and the words are heartbreaking. I just think. I mean, everyone knows that her vocals can't be compared to anyone either, but it's just the whole of it. It's like all of these on this list to me they're multifaceted. Their greatness is multifaceted. It's like the lyrics, the vocals, the music, the like everything about it. Also, Keep Your Head Up by Tupac. I mean, everyone knows he's a poet. He truly had a message. He had things to say. He lifted people up. His
called
song,
shit out.
Yeah, he called everything. He was real, but he like spoke. He was saying something like a rap for a long time, and that's its origins. It's spoken word, and it's like you are getting a message across, and then it's somehow convoluted into this like mumble rap panda shit that like I don't know. I mean, I think it's coming back around on some level, but yeah, Tupac, Keep Your Head Up is like a 90s anthem for real because it's just
so good.
When you think about it in context for what was going on in the world at that time, obviously his life, but it's beautiful. Ugh. So those are my
those are
90s.
good. Yeah. Okay, so I did 9X's reality shows, and I've literally watched all of them. So yeah,
and I watched none of them. So this is except I have seen The Bachelor before, obviously, but not for years.
Yes.
But I don't watch any of these, so this is where I learn from you.
I'll go through them fast. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 again. 5 for this is worst. I'm starting off with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I know so many people love this show. I'm sorry.
I have seen that.
It is just I watch it when I'm like high and I need to lose brain cells because a lot of things, you know what I mean? Like that's when you have to watch it. When you really you're like hanging on to your last brain cell because it's just so there's really nothing going on. There's nothing going on. For The Bachelor, a lot of people love this. I totally get it, but you have to understand this fucking show is so problematic. It exploits women. It exploits black people, any person of color, and they don't give a fuck doing it. And and this year was fucking no exception. And I'm having it's a love-hate. 3 Toddlers and Tiaras. No one wants to see people exploit children. I'm sorry. Like, no. Fuck you. Stop exploiting children. Number 2, The Swan. Do you remember The Swan? This is when we were young.
No, what is that?
The Swan was a show where women who were ugly ducklings, who had a lot of issues physically, would go and they would get all these plastic surgeries done from all these plastic surgeons, and the best looking one won. Like
my God,
got their surgeries like taken care of, like fine. I think like either they took care of their surgeries. It's like crazy.
Oh my God, I want to throw up.
Yeah, it's like the best. It's like the worst. It's like we fuck women. This should have been the.
And then we wonder why we ended up with Trump as president. Our society has set us up for this.
Fuck it. And speaking of fuck women, the pickup artist. Ew,
that title.
I had like watched recently. I was told about it, and so I didn't watch it when it was on during the time, which was the 2000s. And it's about this fucking dude named, I think he was called like Mystery. He has an actual name, but he went by Mystery, and he was this like pickup artist. You know, like a Hitch, but like worse.
Ew.
And he was just a fucking sexist pig who would tell men to neg. Do you know like negging, what that means? So it's like his thing was teaching men how to neg, which was to ignore women, insult them incessantly, and then the women will come back to you.
Oh,
that's
God.
negging. He coined the term, and it's a fucking thing that men
He
still
coined
do.
that?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be for neglecting.
Yeah, sure. Neglecting. Yeah, but it's also like insulting is part of it. Like,
But I mean, is that where the word?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So, shit. I know. Okay. So this is my best. This is wild. I get it. I know. Number 5, Jersey Shore. I don't care. I know I talked about Kardashians, you're on your last brain cell, but this is when you're on your last brain cell, but you're still getting so much content. Like the drama is rich. I'm from Jersey, so maybe that's like just so funny to see characters of people you know.
Yeah.
But it's just so, but it's also just like there's so much that happens, and you'll never be bored. There's so much fun shit, and it's stupid, and it's fun. Number 4, The Bachelor. I know I had that on the worst and it's on the best because it's still so fucking fun. It's still fun.
It's a classic and it's awful at the same time.
Like I said, it's a love-hate. You'll get like such good moments from that show that are just like you can't believe it's happening on in front of your eyes. Like the producers work overtime. Number 3, Mob Wives. I don't know if a lot of people know Mob Wives, but have you ever seen it?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Mob Wives is fucking amazing. It is so underrated. It's about these women who are connected to like the mafia in some way, that their husbands or their fathers or themselves. And it is so fucking good. Like these women fight, like they are badass bitches.
Oh, gosh.
Shout out to Big Ange. Rest in peace. Number 2, number 2, Vanderpump Rules. The best show on, well, no, it's not the best show on Bravo because we'll go to number 1, but one of the best shows ever. I am so mad it took me so long to watch this. It's just a bunch of people in LA and like West Hollywood, servers and bartenders in West Hollywood.
But don't you feel like you've lived it?
No. Yes and no. It's like I can relate to them, but they're also so ridiculous. And this is something that like, there's gold every scene. Like these people are just shooting out gold, like the isms, the one-liners. It's gold, gold, gold. All of the characters. They got into a lot of heat recently, but we'll see where they end up in the next season. Number 1, Real Housewives. You're going to get what you want.
God.
If you're looking for reality shows, you're going to get everything you want from Real Housewives. You're going to get strong women. You're going to get drama that makes no sense. You're going to get drama that makes sense. You're going to get reunions that are out of control. Like the reunions are like even more dramatic than the seasons because then like chairs are thrown, tables are thrown. You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh God.
Yeah, just so much shit happens. Real Housewives is gold, and you have so many cities, and I love it.
I literally have no idea what any of these are.
It's okay.
But I've heard obviously of a lot of them, but I haven't seen.
So good.
Except for The Bachelor. Yeah. Yeah, it's issues. I'm going to do my one. So best rap lyricists.
Oh.
So this is obviously with rap, there's a lot at play so it's not like greatest rappers of all time. That has so many, although I would argue these guys are in there anyway, but, cause it's about so many things like your wordplay, your flow, like your cadence, your lyric, but I'm talking lyricists, like the message that they have. So the first one I'm going to do is, Rakim, and he was like, he pioneered kind of like multisyllabic rhymes and also writing intentionally like intricately crafted lyrics with clear wordplay and metaphors versus just like more improvisational style that was popular at the time, like freestyle and with more simplistic rhyme patterns. He really like upped the ante for MC technique with like the wordplay and the intentionality of it and the intricacy of it and rhyming multiple syllables versus just like the last word of a line.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, he really set the bar, and he created the shift from like simpler old school flows to more complex flows and like highlighted the craft of it. Like you're literally a writer. You're a poet. It's so technical when you're good, And so, and that doesn't, not to knock freestyle, but he really like leveled up and was like, look, you can like really master this craft as a craft. And it doesn't have to just be like fly by the seat of your pants every time. And he is like industry wide acknowledged as the best for that.
Nice.
And from there, I go to Royce da 5'9", which nobody really, people don't know him.
Yeah.
I mean, people in music do, but I didn't even know much about him until this past year. I was introduced to him, and he's a Detroit rapper. He came up with Eminem. He's like best friends with Eminem. He was in a rap duo, or is, with Eminem. He was in Prime with DJ Premier. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's like deep in the industry, but people don't know his name mainstream. He is his storytelling. It's obviously these are all lyricists, but his song, so his album Book of Ryan, if you're gonna go check him out, I would check that album out. There's a song on there called Caterpillar, which features Eminem, and the two of them, it goes off. It is a like pump you up, like amp you up type of song. It is unreal. Their flows are incredible. They match each other. It's not a song where you feel like the feature took over or the main artist.
Yeah.
You know, also one of his songs, Cocaine, where he talks about his dad's struggle with cocaine growing up and how his dad went to rehab and decided to get help because he wanted to be there for his kids. But it's like a beautiful story, and it's really sad. And it kind of brings me to tears at certain points in it. And his lines, like, I have a couple of them here. So one is, I'm skipping class to be fascinating. My pen is like Big Ben. This shit's just a classic waiting.
I love that.
It's like so. And another one of his, I stuck to my promise to mama. Stay focused, double entendre. I'm trying to vocally smoke you. You will be missed. The hocus, the pocus, magician. Sorry, the hocus, the pocus, magician doing tricks in his miserable business, who spit loyalty, forgiveness through biblical scripts.
Wow.
It's like you listen to him and it flies by so fast, and you hear like a little piece of it, and then 2 seconds later it sinks in. And by that point, he's already spit like 20 more lines that you need to go back and listen to. It's deep. So Eminem is on here. He obviously, so for his punchlines, his wordplay, his metaphors, his speed, his flow, he's always obviously criticized for his anger and aggression. And he's said obviously awful things about women. But what I have to say, and it's not to back up his like woman hating, but what I do think is that if there ever was a beautiful transmutation of somebody's anger and darkness into art, it's him. Because if he didn't have music and get this stuff out, not that everybody wants to hear it, but like, where would that anger have gone? Especially if it's directed at women, you know what I mean? And he didn't just shout about women. Like, he really talking about like the skill, the technique of rapping with his rhyming and his extreme level of technical skill and his creativity and his comedy. Like, it's dark, but it's like, he's hilarious, and he just gets people in lines. He'll just come for it. He is not afraid to burn bridges with people. There's a line that he said in Forever, which was featuring Kanye and Lil Wayne and Eminem, the Drake song. But the way it's like, you're dealing with a few true villains who stand inside of a booth, truth spilling, and spit true feelings until our tooth fillings come flying up out of our mouths. Now rewind it. It's like, you literally are going to rhyme true villains, booth, truth spilling, true feelings, and tooth fillings. Like, who? I mean, he flips everything. And then obviously we all know this one, but I want to say it because it's a descriptor. It's like a storytelling. This is just beautiful storytelling. You're right there.
Yeah.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. It's like poetry. When you read this shit,
that was
it's
like
poetry.
our anthem, our generation.
Yeah, that was also our generation. Like, if there was one rap song that all of our generation learned every lyric to, it was Lose Yourself. For
8
sure.
Mile
Yeah.
taught me so much about life. I'm not, that's not an exaggeration.
You said that. I know. I know. Andre 3000 is one of my all-time favorites. So honestly, to me, he's arguably like, he might be my top. I haven't really sat down and tried to order shit, but his storytelling prowess is what really stands out. And he has such interesting structures to his lyricism. It's so conversational. It's like he just like dips in and out of the beat, but he's in it the whole time. And I have a couple things of his, that his is really like, when you read it, it's literally like reading literature. It is beautiful.
I love him.
So I met a gypsy and she hit me to some life game to stimulate, then activate the left and right brain.
Oof.
Said, baby boy, you're only funky as your last cut. You focus on the past. Your ass will be a has what. That's one to live by, or either that's one to die to. It's
oh my
like,
God.
And then another one
Is he
I
talking
put,
about Erykah
wanted
Badu?
to.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I bet you never heard of a player with no game. Told the truth to get what I want, but shot it with no shame. Take this music dead serious while others entertain. I see they making paper, so I guess I can't complain. Or can I? I feel they disrespecting the whole thing. Them hooks like selling dope to black folks. And I choke when the food they serve ain't tasting right. My stomach can't digest it, even when I bless it. Like, oh my God. And this like flies by. That's a blip in a song.
Chill, Andre.
Oh my God. I can't. He is truly one of the greatest ever.
Damn. You didn't have to go that hard.
Yeah. And then, of course, Nas. So I put him on there. He's like, even like dubbed himself like the most mainstream underground or something, because he doesn't have that many awards, and he's like universally accepted as like the greatest. So when he came up, he was compared to Rakim, who's my first one that I mentioned, because of his like technical skill. And so Illmatic is probably in my opinion, his best lyrically. It's 10 tracks and it's 10 like illustrative narratives of street life through his eyes. He is absolutely a true poet. His content is it's like filled with enriching quotes and thoughts. It's like the content of it runs so deep. And so it's not just his writing that makes him great, but like the topics and the concepts of his songs. And I have a couple from him, or I have one from him. This is from Memory Lane. He says, my intellect prevails from a hanging cross with nails. I reinforce the frail with lyrics that's real. Word to Christ, a disciple of streets, trifle on beats. I decipher prophecies through a mic and say peace.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
It really is beautiful. And so, yeah, I don't know if people don't listen to rap who are listening, like literally isolate the lyrics and look at this. It is poetry at its finest. It truly is.
Do you like Kendrick?
Yes. I thought about him and I was like going more like
old school,
like old school,
yeah.
But yes, he is up there for me. Absolutely. I love him. And he's one that like started to bring the curve back around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
And then I'll go back through this next one quick because they don't matter. Worst rap lyricists. And they aren't lyricists because they're on my worst list. And I'm going to say Diddy because Puff, he spent a career bragging about how he didn't have to write rhymes, how he wrote checks. And he flaunted the fact that he could pay ghostwriters for hits. And this is purely about, this list for me is about lyricism, and he's not it. He is not it at all.
Missing you. That's like my only.
Yeah, like I know, like obviously he has hits, but like lyricism, no. Young Thug. Last time I checked, you were supposed to be able to understand what rappers are saying, and that's the whole art of it all. It's spoken words. Words. Yeah. Where are the words?
Yes.
Soulja Boy, and don't get me wrong, freshman year of college, I'm in my room learning the dance to his stuff, but like terrible lyrics, terrible flow, terrible production. It's terrible. But it's terrible.
But shout out to Soulja Boy. He's on Twitch and he games on Twitch and I'm obsessed with it. Shout out to his Twitch account because
that's hilarious.
That's his fucking calling. He's hilarious.
No, okay. Well, he should stay there. Iggy Azalea. I don't have to say much. Just Google Iggy Azalea Raptor Badger or
Raptor
Google
Badger.
Or Google Iggy Azalea freestyle on Sway in the morning. It is cringe. I can't even.
I'm fucking hot right now.
She's like Raptor Badger. She literally makes shit up.
Hoes on quartz. Hoes on quartz.
Her freestyle on Sway in
this.
Her freestyle on Sway in the morning is the most cringeworthy thing. And then right after it, some caller calls in and he just goes,
I know.
What the fuck was that? It's hilarious. I'm going to say Lil Jon, don't come at me. It's dope beats. It has some songs that hit. It will get you going, but he is not a lyricist. Okay. He is by no means a skilled rapper. He's
a hype man.
By any means of the craft. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So those are that's my thing.
That's good. Those are really good, Molly. I'll end mine with tropes. Like I'm talking book tropes, movie tropes, TV tropes. And a lot of these have to do with like romance, you know, but not really, not all of them, because like that's like my favorite genre. But my worst, where is the worst tropes? Here we go. So number 5, fake relationships. We're talking like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, like just the fake relationships. I don't know. It's like, it's always going to fall in their face, and it's just predictable.
It's predictable
in a bad way. I don't mind predictable as long as it's like you're giving me some spice. Usually they don't have that much spice. The 4, I hate everyone but you trope. So that trope, it's kind of fucking sucks. And it's usually like the man to the woman, where the man just hates the world, but only loves her. He's just a fucking asshole most of the time. And I'm just like, like move on. Like she can do better most of the time. The love triangle, I don't like it. I don't like it. I just pick them. It's not interesting. Everyone's team this, team Edward, team Jacob. It's so stupid. Everyone knows that she should be with Edward. Number 2, token diversity. Sorry. No, like it's not gonna happen. It's like, it's so blatant when you're like, you have a sassy black friend this movie. That's crazy. Sassy Latina friend. Wild. I've never heard of that. Oh, you have a really smart Asian friend. Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Crazy.
Like and they think they're woke, and it's like, they think they're progressive because they even have those characters in the first place. No. Number 1, the cool girl trope. Get absolutely fucked. You know what trope I'm talking about? Where it's like,
the
she's
cool
just
girlfriend who like doesn't,
she's just one of the guys, and she's just cool with it. Like anything that happens, like she's just at home, she's getting the dinner ready while you're out fighting crime, and she's like, oh, you're back. It's no, sorry.
Right.
I fucking hate that shit. That's why Gone Girl is one of the best movies ever created, because it just turned that shit around on its head. So these are my best. So number 5, the shared bed trope. Do you know this trope?
No.
It's when the couple that's not together yet, but they're on a mission together, and they share, and they have to, like, you know, it's kind of like the closed space.
Oh, like in a hotel room or something, and they have to share a bed.
It's like, there's one bed. What are we gonna do? I love that shit. I love that shit. I love it. Number 4, Space as the Sea. So this is less romantic. This is just a general trope. Space as the Sea is basically like sci-fi shows where the characters are in their ships, as if it's kind of like it's pirates, you know, but it's like all in space. So it's like the drama you get on like a sea. It's hard to explain, but it's a thing. Like
like a pirate ship versus a spaceship. Like
yeah, exactly. It's like all the drama that would be like out on sea, but it's in space instead, and it's fun, and like the ship rocks, and it's like all the, you know, it's just it's a trope, and I love that shit. 3, found family. You know, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you've seen that, or like
Groot.
I'm watching all the Marvel movies in order for the first time. So I just saw Guardians for the first time a couple days ago. So it's like stuff like that, where it's ragtag people from all different parts of the world coming together at the end. I cry. I love it.
Yeah.
Number 2, soulmates. I don't give a fuck. I love it when it's written in the stars, when it's serendipitous, when they're meant to be together. I fucking love it. That gets me horny. I love it. Number 1, what gets me the horniest is enemies to lovers. I love it. I love when there's a good like tete-a-tete, a good like, you know, like they're butting heads a lot, and they're you can tell they're worthy of one another, and when it's earned, it's so satisfying when they get together at the end. I love it.
That's cute.
So those are my tropes.
I love that. I'll go through my last one quick. I have where's my thing? Okay, so most overrated classic novels. I will say Steinbeck's one of my favorite authors, but Of Mice and Men.
Wait a minute, I'm looking at this list. We're gonna have issues.
I know we are. I knew you're gonna hate this.
First of all, Of Mice and Men.
So I think it's sad and heart-wrenching, but I just think it's like it didn't reach its full potential. And I would say
I liked it, but
okay.
It's not my favorite.
So I liked it, but then especially compared to Steinbeck's other work, like no.
Yeah.
I'm I am calling up something. Okay. Yeah, you're going to hate this. But Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I think that
Molly,
it is literally.
who hurt you?
What? Who hurt all women? Jane Austen.
No! I'm gonna hang up. We're gonna be canceled for this. We're gonna lose our patrons. No, Molly. Shh. No.
No, actually, I think we're gonna gain some.
No, we're not. We're gonna fight.
Listen, I will say I've read these. Like I read Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice is also on here for me. But my issue, like, I know it's widely debated, and there are good points on both sides of like how she empowers women or how she just like tore them down in society. And I think,
sorry, go ahead.
Because it just like here, well, okay. So for Sense and Sensibility, it's just like, it's just saying the ultimate message is like young women have to submit to powerful conventions of society and find a male protector. And all of her books are like,
because that's what women were doing.
Exactly. And it paints it as though like these women are living these like full lives and that's all they care about, when there's so much. And she does dive into their characters and their inner worlds, but she doesn't have Sense and Sensibility is like, you need to choose whether you're going to be this or this. And basically says that women need to be, they're either one or the other. They either are led by this or this. I don't like it.
No, but that's what women were in the time. Like that, she wrote that during the time where that's all women had to marry. That's
well, I know
no
it's
choice.
accurate.
So like,
I know it's accurate, but that's the thing is she just dwells on it. It just enforces that. Like it enforces the importance of society's standards at the time, which is what art does in a world. It's not like what we all do is reflect the world we live in. But I think, and this is overrated. This doesn't mean they're like terrible. It was relevant at the time, obviously, but I think it's not one that needs to be so deeply studied now. I think that I know she does recognize, like in her writing, she recognizes the limitations of the social institutions, but, and she demonstrates like, she demonstrates in Sense and Sensibility, like the necessity of controlling the dangerous excess of female emotions. Like just always emphasizes how women need to like,
I don't know. That's
repress
weird.
And control.
You're talking about Marianne or Eleanor, because Eleanor was so independent. She just she didn't want to get married. That was her whole thing. She didn't want to. She fell in love with fucking, I forget his name. But knew that she was above that and that she got him at the end, but not because it was like to spite that.
I guess to me, it's like, even though she's reflecting society at the time, which is an important thing, that's artist's duty. So I just feel like the way it also contributed to how long that has lasted in society, where our society is still alarmingly structured, that it's very different, but it's still like the way that women are received in society is still a shadow of that. And because she made such a cultural impact, it's not even like her fault. Like she wrote what was happening in the reality of the time. But then it's like blown up so big that it just like kind of reinforced itself, if that makes sense. Like those expectations of society and on women, and these are things women care about, and like all the way to like Bridgerton now, it's like the more that stuff is put, even though it's accurate to history, like this is what historically it was, the more we focus on it and like romanticize it, there's a line somewhere. And that's on us in society now, not her in her writing. So I understand both sides. I'm not saying she's the worst writer, but I will say Mark Twain once claimed that every time I read Pride and Prejudice, I know, listen to me. This is just hilarious.
Oh my God. This is
okay, Alyssa. I'm telling you my list, and I am serious.
Twain? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, leave me alone. Every time I read Pride and Prejudice, I want to dig Jane Austen up and beat her over the head with her own shin bone.
That is sexist, but that isn't it.
Obviously, Alyssa, relax. That was like a joke. That's like a funny quote. I'm not backing up Mark Twain. I'm just saying, like, Jane Austen, to me, all of her books, it's redundant. I know it's a historical thing. I know you disagree with me, but this is my list. And now, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I read it
so
too.
funny.
I liked it at the time, but it's
I was just
considered
talking about this one.
one of the most classic romance novels of all time.
Yeah, this one's
or
fucked.
classic romances of all time. And I liked it when I read it, but then when I'm looking back on like
So
overrated
toxic.
classic novels, what?
So toxic.
Yeah, it's just like all the characters are despicable. They just like they're cruel to one another. The plot is really awkwardly structured. It's like I don't and it's just boring and depressing. And so I don't know. That's my thought on that. And then I did.
I agree
also
with you on that.
the yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Da Vinci Code. So this, the storyline, like the story
I never
idea is
read
clever.
this.
But Dan, you never read it?
No, I was too afraid of it.
Yeah. Well, the story idea is clever, but Dan Brown's writing style is just ruins it all. Like he has bland characterizations. It's awful dialogue. It's really poorly researched. And it's just boring. And I know, and the movie, you know how I feel about Nicolas Cage, but like
Wait, that's
the movie
Nicolas Cage?
is still better than the book, because the book, it's kind of disappointing to me because the idea of it, like I said, could be really cool. And I like codes and conspiracy and mystery stuff, but like the writing of it all is just like, oh God, Dan Brown, like someone else should have taken this idea in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are and then favorite book recommendations, East of Eden by Steinbeck is one of my all-time favorites. It is not so much about the plot. It follows generations.
Yes.
It's a long-ass thing, but it's a study on human character and good versus evil and whether we all have the capacity for both.
Mm-hmm.
Between the World and Me, Ta-Nehisi Coates, that is a book that he wrote intention for his son growing up Black in America. Everybody needs to read it. Obviously, every white person needs to read it. Angela Davis, an autobiography, incredible. She's an amazing writer. Her life, like that was I ate that up like a fiction, like a novel, and it's her life. It was unreal. Limitless Mind by Russell Targ. So this one, I have it right here. I recommended this to my dad and he read it. So it says Russell Targ spent a lifetime working in the science of consciousness and human possibilities. He describes like remote viewing, which is a concept of being able to channel the energy of something from far away and see it in your mind's eye. And he's a scientist, so he's like not going all woo-woo with it, but the concept is woo-woo and he backs it up with science. And it's really, really fascinating. So it says, for decades, the work of Russell Targ and other scientists has demonstrated that our minds have extraordinary abilities we are only beginning to understand. Like precognition, intuitive medical diagnosis, distant healing, all of these things he dives into, and like the science, it's crazy. It's fascinating. Also, my last one, Women Who Run with the Wolves. We did like a whole episode last year on this book, so you guys can dive in. But
So
myths
good.
and stories
I still haven't
of
finished this.
it's super long, and it's like, to me, it's like daily medicine. Just like read a little bit at a time. Myths and stories of the wild woman archetype, and it is beautiful. All women. I think all women required reading for sure. So yeah, those are mine.
Do you not like period romance? Is that maybe what it is?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
See, that makes sense. That's all. That makes sense.
Right. That's what I was saying. And those are a lot of my reasons why. I know you love it.
I think
we're not going to end our friendship over this.
No, absolutely not. But I think I can turn you around on Sense and Sensibility more than Pride and Prejudice, probably.
Okay.
Even though Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth is like, she's a fucking feminist icon.
Yeah, but there's better ones is all I'm saying. It's overrated. I'm not saying she's the worst or she's not a feminist icon. It's just there are better ones, and I think it's given too much light.
I think I could turn you on Sense. Maybe.
You can try. I'm open to my
Emma.
mind.
You know what?
changed.
Maybe Emma. But that wasn't on your list, so maybe not. But maybe Emma.
But we'll see.
Do you like Clueless?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really watch it. Maybe I did.
My soul.
I know.
That's okay. I still love Molly, guys. Don't worry. We're coming back next week.
Don't worry, guys. We're not ending our business partnership or our friendship.
Guys, we have a Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I wanted a drum roll.
Now you can subscribe and help support us financially for even if it's just $3 a month, $7 a month, or $11 a month. And with each level, you gain different benefits, and those include, and the tiers are all listed on Patreon. You can see what's included, but some of the things are like extended guest interviews, bonus content. Once we release our merch, there will be special discounts and codes for our Patreon members. It's just a lot of, and it really, really helps us. Alyssa and I are obviously trying to grow this and monetize this and be able to like have this be part of our solid income, like an income stream for us. And if you guys love what we're doing and support us, it's just a little bit, it's like your daily coffee a month, or like we said, just switch to your ex's Netflix account and subscribe to us for $11 a month, and it's all the same.
Come on, you want to.
Yeah.
Fuck it, you won't notice.
Or the middle tier, what did we figure out? $7 a month comes to 23 cents a day. Just sponsor us.
Easy. And so shout out to our first 2 patrons, Steve Ginn and Nija Brooks. We love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah,
we
mwah,
love
mwah,
you
mwah.
guys. Seriously, it like really, Alyssa and I text each other and get so excited with the support for specifically you two. Like we nerd out. We're excited.
We love you guys. Shout out to Black Lives Matter. Shout out to stopapihate.org. Donate to both. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the SOS Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube, SOS with Molly and Alyssa. Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Rate, review us. It helps us reach more people. Please review. We love you. Subscribe.
Yes. And I'm Molly Cottrell.
I'm Alyssa Rosano.
And here's to turning meltdowns
to magic.
Magic.